In the 3rd Congressional District, Lauren Boebert beat Don Corum. Lauren Boebert beat Don Corum for the Republican nomination in the primary, Colorado, June 28th, 2022. Heidi Ganahl is going to beat Greg Lopez. Adam Frisch looks to be in the lead, beating Sol Sandoval and Alex Walker narrowly. Adam Frisch, he calls himself a centrist. He loves big oil and gas. It's 23,321 to 22,193 for a difference of just a little bit more than 1,000. I wasn't allowed to vote for Sol Sandoval in Ganahl County, so I wonder if corruption is widespread across the state. Lauren Boebert, she wins. She says that she's a rhino hunter, and then the crowd erupts in applause. Lauren Boebert crushed Don Corum 80,000 to 42,000, nearly by a 2-to-1 margin. So apparently when it comes to the 3rd Congressional District, the Republicans, they don't want cowboys who are compassionate. They want white trash piles of shit from Florida. That's what they want, a bunch of partisan hacks from Joe O'Dea beats Ron Hanks. Ron Hanks, all he had going for him was some nice hair. Joe O'Dea, he speaks well, but I don't think he's got much of a chance against Michael Bennet. Michael Bennet does have that weird voice, though. But that glitch could be turned into... Doug Lamborn beat 4 other Republicans in the 5th Congressional District. Doug Lamborn, he refused to certify the 2020 election. Doug Lamborn refused to certify the 2020 election. So did Donald Trump the big lie? He doesn't know. Maybe we got to investigate. The big lie could be true. David Torres is going to beat Michael Colum. Excuse me. David Torres beats Michael Colum in the 5th Congressional District, so David Torres is going to go up against Doug Lamborn. David Torres considers himself a progressive, but not a revolutionary. David Torres is on Team Will Smith, but he realizes that Jada Pinkett had some influence. Jada Pinkett Smith could even get Kane out of the ghetto. Jada Pinkett Smith couldn't even get Kane out of the ghetto. David Torres is pro-forced vote, pro-universal health care, pro-choice. He won by 21,000 votes to 18,000 votes. So Michael Colum got 18,000. David Torres got 21,000. That's important because Doug Lamborn got 41,000 votes. So if you add all the votes together, it seems like it's about 120,000, just the primary voters. So you'll need at least 60,000 to win, and probably a lot more because you're going to have, more voters in the general election than the primary. But Doug Lamborn goes into the general election with 41,000 voters, and David Torres goes into the general election with 21,000 voters. So both of them got a nice chunk of the electorate. Ganahl County, the Democrats lost the coroner's race. The Democrats lost the surveyor's race. They lost the treasurer's race and the commissioner's race. They even lost it in the Democratic primary because they didn't even run anybody. For coroner, it was nobody versus nobody. And for treasurer, no one versus, and then surveyor, and then commissioner. And the population of Ganahl County is 8,100. 8,100. There's a lot of Democrats apparently that live around here, but you're telling me that none of the Democrats wanted to be treasurer? None of the Democrats were qualified or had any interest in being a coroner or a surveyor or a commissioner? The Democrats, there's a candidate for assessor and clerk. I guess they're unopposed, so they probably will take that position. And then sheriff. The only competitive election in Ganahl County is Garth Crowther versus Martin Mays. I know some things about Garth Crowther. I don't know anything about Martin Mays. But like I said, Conejos County Democrats, they're against local working family Democrats registering to vote. I feel so stupid. I've been talking about how Colorado democracy is the gold standard in America. How we have open primaries and same-day registration, initiative referendum recall. How this democracy is it's good for the republic. How healthy our elections and I feel so stupid sitting there talking about how great our election system is and how great these Democrats are. And the damn Democrats denied me the right to vote. So sorry, Sol Sandoval. Sol Sandoval, I want to vote for you. I know my one vote wouldn't have pushed you over, but she only lost by 1,000 votes. So, how many other Democrats are the Nathan Rubal? How many other Democrats, working class Democrats, is he not allowing to register to vote? How much corruption, how far does the corruption go down the rabbit hole? On a scale of 1 to 10, how corrupt is one of the two local elected Democrats in the county court? How corrupt is... Because I guarantee you, if I'm running the Democratic Party in Conejos County, I find somebody to run for surveyor. If I'm the treasurer or the president, I would run for one of these positions. You know, I would at least put my name up for election. I would at least... My God, it's just putting your name on the ballot. So the Central Democratic Party of Conejos County should all be fired. They're just taking tax, dues or whatever. They're not doing anything for anybody. They're helping the Republicans more than they're helping Democrats by stopping, good Democrats. How could the Democrats of Conejos County not appeal to an intelligent progressive? If they couldn't even appeal to an intelligent progressive, let me guess, you didn't register anybody this year. Are you even trying to get people registered? And then when they had this election with Nathan Rubal, did he count all of it, written paper with 2-3 people watching him, all on videotape? Is this all? That's how they did it with that election movie. So the Democrats, they lose every race that they don't try. So there's no candidates for treasurer, surveyor, commissioner number 2, or the coroner's race. So the Republicans were unopposed. So the lone Republicans who decide to raise their hands, they just get into office without any challenges from any progressives or even conservative Democrats. 0 Democrats, nobody whatsoever. So whoever's leading the Democrats, they're not finding the progressive Democrats out there who would love to run for these things. They're not trying to develop people that will make sure that they could do, they're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about other people. And they're not thinking about the working class families of Conejos County. Traditionally, Democrats are where the liberals are, and liberals are where your heartbeat is. Bleeding hearts who care about the community. Maybe they care too much about the community and they want to spend all the money on a bunch of housing, and we don't have enough money for all the housing, but we could do it maybe one time, right? Liberals are for the community. Liberals have a heartbeat. Liberals care about everybody. Liberals want change. Liberals aren't stagnant and for the status quo. So if you don't have any liberals who are allowed to run or be a Democratic voter in Conejos County, unfortunately, even if you're a Republican and you think that, hey, well, we're winning, I will say this about Conejos County. I came over here because the police actually give a damn about stopping crime in Conejos County. So the Republicans, for some reason, Democrats can't seem to say crime is bad. But Republicans usually could say something like that. So Conejos County, Martin Mays versus Garth Crowther. I would have loved to have, if I was running the Democratic Party, I would have found a candidate for each one of these offices, if not 1 or 2, and to have a nice, healthy discussion, have a nice, healthy exchange of ideas, And treasurer, like, what do you want in a treasurer? Someone who's honest, someone who's not going to pick your pocket. A surveyor. Does a surveyor ever do anything for the people, or do they just help the commissioners? Are they all just, they're a part of their little clique, and then they just kind of attack, the public? Is that how it is? They're the government, and then they just, attack. They just tax and oppress and violently maybe attack people if... All right, carrying on with the news. Carol Riggenbach beats Ryan G. Williams 455 to 569. I guess the other way. 569. So she won by 114 votes. Carol Riggenbach beat Ryan G. Williams, House District 62. And they're up against Matt Martinez, the Democrat, in November for the general election. Carol Riggenbach is anti-marijuana. And she pretends to be for family farms, but she's a regressive. You know how much money a family farm can make if they raised marijuana? I'm actually kind of shocked that Colorado doesn't have marijuana gardens everywhere. Johnny Nguyen beat Wandell James.